11th Hour on Radio Sri Lanka illustrates the rediscovery of the glitz and the glam of the nation's most prominent entertainers and eminent personalities from the corporate sector. Join us every Monday at 11 exclusively on Radio Sri Lanka.
And yet another interesting episode with a very, very interesting personality, which I would have to say right at the inception. Today, essentially, every company is a tech company. IT and tech workers are keen to learn new skills and apply them. For their employers, this means they want opportunities not only to build new skills and learn, but find productive ways to make an impact at work. Whenever a teammate quits, it can cause disruptions and increase the amount of work for others. Further, skills gaps often lead to a decreased ability to meet business objectives. This is where effective leadership, coaching, and project management can make a significant difference. Latest data states that women hold just 26.7% of tech-related jobs, and the total number of women in tech-related positions has actually decreased by 2.1% over the last few years. Let's be positive that women in the tech industry will gain ground and will not face new headwinds by advancing in gender diversity. This is why I have invited a female representation to discuss about women in tech industry. Miss Upamalika Ratnayake, CIO, Selinco Life, to 11th Hour today. Very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Let's get about with some IT-related tech questions and beyond. Diversity is considered critical in the IT industry as it enables organizations to create a better and safer platform. How do you see this diversity as a positive consideration?
Diverse workforce brings together individuals with different backgrounds, different experience, and different cultures. Gender diversity. I would like to talk to about the gender diversity. Gender diversity will bring inclusive and collaborative workplace culture. By nature, we females have more empathy, more tenacity, more mental stamina, of course, more physical stamina and determination. Also, we accept challenges and we take responsibilities of what we do. And especially, we are born with exceptional multi-processing and multitasking skills. So why not we bring ladies, females into the tech industry and have a gender diversity? Definitely, when you have a diversity, we will get more creativity, more innovations, better decision-making and offer unique solutions to the problems, and definitely bring fresh ideas to the table.
Of course, yes. So, are you in the opinion that women remain widely underrepresented in IT-related roles?
Of course, yes. I believe that women remain widely underrepresented in the IT-related roles. Despite efforts to promote diversity and inclusion in the workplace, gender gap in the tech industry is still significant. Women only make up a small percentage in the tech workforce, particularly in the leadership positions. You can't even find about 5 or 6 CIOs in the country, or female CIOs. But it's true the numbers are less. But in capacity-wise, we are fooled to pretend that we are equal. Because I believe we are far superior and always have been. So why the reason? Why is it less? Why the gender gap is there? One thing is we don't have role models in the tech industry. We have to get more people into the tech industry as the superiors or CIOs and all.
You mean more female
models in the leadership positions. And one thing I'll tell you is tech industry culture is long hours. IT is not a 8 to 5 job. You have to work late.
It will never be.
It will never be. Sometimes it's 24-hour job. So you'll have to be prepared for that. And also when you're in IT, you can't stop studying. You have to keep on studying till the end. For a good example, I did my master's at the University of Colombo when my son was doing his degree at the Moratuwa. So we studied together throughout when they were doing scholarship exams, when they were doing O-levels, A-levels, and when they were graduates. We were all three, I have two sons, doctor and engineer, we studied together. So you can't stop studying when you're in IT. And the most important thing is the work-life balancing. If you are capable of this is not a big job, big task.
I have to ask this question from you, Ms. Upamalika Ratnayake. Is it because sometimes the ladies show some kind of a letharginess towards this kind of a committed job, or is it that organizations do not fancy to have females to take up such a challenging job? Where exactly do you see the gap from your perspective and with your experience, of course?
Many organizations would prefer a male in this job. But you should be smart enough to prove that we are better than males.
By committing yourself.
By committing yourself. And you have to commit. Otherwise, no way. You have to prove yourself. And the work-life balance is the most important thing according to my belief. Actually, I have raised two sons, an engineer and a doctor. And I am right now raising 5 grandkids. I'm still working. And if you're organized, if you're methodical, if you plan your day ahead, there's nothing you can do.
I think it's very important.
Where everything is possible, only thing you have to be, you have to plan, you have to be organized, you have to be methodical. Right? I do cooking in the morning, and then I come to work and work as the CDO. Actually, I was the CIO, now I'm the CDO. And I do a very strenuous, very strategic job at the office. But at home, I'm the grandmother and I'm the mother. I do my role there perfectly.
I think you have to mention the number of service that you have been in this industry alone.
Okay. I have worked for 44 years, 4 months and 3 days as of today. And out of that, 39 in the IT industry. And insurance is about 23 and a half. I joined the bank, actually, People's Bank, just after A-levels when I was 19. When the bank is not even computerized, everything was done manually.
That is your entrance to the corporate world.
Exactly.
Interesting, of course, and more to speak with regard to the women in tech industry in particular. So let's enjoy some music. But before that, something tells me why not inquire one more interesting question. Managing the security of a hybrid work environment will be a pressing challenge for your organization's IT department. How have you succeeded with these challenges?
Okay, COVID-19, the pandemic. COVID-19 pandemic, actually, there was no option. We have to work remotely. And some of the companies are still working remotely, hybrid. We had to work remotely. The entire responsibility was on IT. Right? We had to manage, because the cyber security is there, the security is a big concern these days. So the IT had a big role in implementing, giving the flexibility to work remotely, and productivity also increased in a way. But we have to take the challenge of the whole thing. Actually, best thing is we have to have a robust security protocols and technologies. We have to work with very trusted partners, working with trusted partners who will provide us advanced security technologies and expertise. And the other thing is we have to have a multi-factor authentication, multi-layered approach, as well as ideally we should provide a virtual private networks with security for them to log in from their own places. Mostly, we need to educate them. We have to educate entire staff about the cybersecurity and the best practices. That's how actually now of course it's not hybrid. In our office of course now we come to work, but still IT companies, they work from home mostly after COVID. Mm-hmm. So the IT has to play a significant challenge in this.
How does a creative mind connect with this kind of industry? Now, generally, when it comes to the rest of the other industries, there is also quite a bigger portion of creativity adds value to a person's job, increasing the competency. How does this kind of connection connect with it? Because for us, for a layman, it's like something is already programmed and you should know about it and get about with it, kind of an impression.
Your question is related to the same question or you're asking something different?
Slightly different, yes.
Okay, creativity, logical thinking and creativity is part of IT. You have to have it. Otherwise,
it should be there.
It should be there.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing is we have to do is, actually, is more related to the previous question, the STEM education for ladies. We have to emphasize this. I studied at Visakha, right? 15 bio classes and 1 maths class. It's the other way around at boys' schools. I know. There are more maths classes and 1 or 2 bio classes. I don't know the latest situation, but that was the way that was there 40 years ago. More than 40. Yes, STEM education, we have to emphasize STEM education for girls. That will overcome the previous situation. Mm-hmm. But creativity is part of females. We have that.
It's within us.
It's within us. We are born with that. And logical thinking is the other thing. That is also highly required for this IT field.
Interesting, of course. Getting back to our conversation with Ms. Upamalika Ratnayake, CIO of Selinco Life. Getting back to discussing in detail with regard to women in tech industry. As companies acquire more applications and software licensing, and managing these technologies may become complicated, how should an organization strategize the IT requirement?
Business need changes. Because of the competitive situation, every day it changes. So we keep on buying new software and adding new applications into the systems. Managing these applications and technologies is a very complicated and a costly task for the IT. Very costly as well as very complicated. So in order to effectively strategize these IT requirements, organizations should take a systematic approach and mainly, firstly, what you have to do is you have to take a comprehensive inventory of all the applications and software that you use. What they do, who uses, and what sort of an licensing is required for these applications and software. And again, the next step is you have to evaluate the licensing options. There are free software, open source software. And also there are volume-based licenses. There are subscription-based licenses. So we have to take the most cost-effective method. And then when you talk about the applications, you have to decide on priorities. There are mission-critical applications as well as nice-to-have applications. Your licensing has to give the priority to the mission-critical applications, not for the nice-to-have applications. And you have to have a plan for managing licenses. You need to track renewals, because these licenses are to be renewed, and staying on top of updates and patches, and we have to ensure the compliance. IT has to ensure the compliance with licensing documents. And currently, actually, there are tools and softwares available. You can use those with cost at a cost. Those will provide you real-time visibility of into licenses, usage, and the availability. With that, you can manage this compliance issue.
Have you experienced a situation sometimes you do have a desire to purchase certain softwares and licensing, but unfortunately it doesn't really fit into a local business module? Have you ever experienced something like that in your...
Now, your question is not very clear to me. Yes, I need to buy. What is it?
I want to inquire. Now, there are certain softwares and licensing which is accredited worldwide.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it sometimes may not be the exact software a local Sri Lankan company would really acquire it, but it is ideal if we can have it. Have you ever experienced situations like that?
Oh, yeah. No, if you can't find it locally, we have local software companies enough. But then when you need the best, with mostly suitable to your operation, you may have to go somewhere else.
You have no choice.
No choice. You have to go for some good... you have to pay licenses, I know, but then there's no option for us.
Undoubtedly, the IT industry is significantly different from what it was a decade ago. How do you see these changes rapidly taking place in organizations today?
I'm the ideal person to answer that question.
Of course, yes.
I told you I have worked for 44 years, 4 months and 3 days as of today.
Certainly.
And out of that, 39 years in IT, and I have seen 4 decades. I have gone through 4 decades. Successfully. Okay. IT started with mainframes. The computer is big as this room. Okay. We called it data processing departments. There were no ICT or IT. There were no CIOs. The head was data processing manager. So that means we did process data in that computer. We keyed in data, do the processing and took out the reports. That was the beginning. And we wrote assembler program, that is the machine languages. I'm proud to say I have written COBOL, assembler, Pascal, RPG2 programs years ago. But these technological advancements, it's very rapid. Rapidly it changes. As well as the business needs. It's changing faster than the technological this advancement. So the digital transformation, everybody want to transform their operations and adopt digital technologies. So this is happening. I have seen this happening now. From mainframes, then it came to PCs, GW Basic, D-Base and Fox-Base, Fox4, VB, now it's Java, C++, and all these new technologies are there, and these agile technologies are there, DevOps are there. So it will accelerate the software deployment and development. It is very fast. And also the cybersecurity threat is there. The focus is on cybersecurity these days. And the big data. That is something came recently, big data analytics. Actually, I'm into that now. I'm not the CIO now, I'm the CDO. It predicts you everything, right? It can study your data and give the predictions and the trends. What will happen? What is it? In my case, which policy is going to lapse? Right? We can provide these predictions. So big data and artificial intelligence. And then the IoT, Internet of Things, and mainly chatbots. Our call center has a chatbot. We call it Selena. We are given a girl's name. So it handles all the routine tasks. Right? And it frees up the employees to do more strategic work. The Selena answers most of the questions. Right? The chatbot use is very useful. So these are the new things that came. And also this enhances efficiency definitely. And new innovations are coming in. And in the competitive world, these are must. When I talk about the competitiveness as a woman, I'm very proud about my commitment and contribution as the CIO and the CDO of the company I work, which is the undisputed market leader for 19 consecutive years, Selinco Life. So I'm very proud about my contribution and that because of this competitiveness, you have to have all these latest things. You can't go with the old technology. You have to move into new technologies. Otherwise, you can't go forward.
We are in conversation with Miss Upamalika Ratnayake, CDO of Telinko Life. Back again to 11th hour, and this is my final question to you. Tech workers are an ambitious group. They want to learn. They want to advance their careers. They want to apply their skills to complex problems. Do you agree with this statement?
Yes, of course. 100%. Yes, 100%. I agree. Yeah.
So, how do you think they would get about with this complex problem theories in the sense of how do they resolve this? I mean, can you give an example and can you relate an incident? Maybe just to get the feel of, are these the kinds of complex problems that they tend to face? Like breakdowns, for example?
Yes. Staff turnovers is an issue for IT, as well as the server breakdowns, these hardware failures, as well as sometimes the program bugs that no one can find out. These are the real critical issues that we are facing when we are working on IT, bugs and hardware failures and the staff turnovers and all these things, security issues. So in the IT, it's a team actually. The whole team work together and find solutions for all these issues.
And how should a person who is heading a division of this caliber handle such sudden breakdowns? I mean, how do you self-motivate yourself to handle these kinds of situations?
If you have a good team with you, you can face anything.
That's the secret.
That's the secret. A teamwork. And if you are working with a superb team, then you don't have to worry about anything. I have worked overnight when these issues are there with my team many times. Not every day, I'm saying, but many times. So if you have a team, good team in all-rounders, then you don't have to worry. You can come across anything.
Certainly this kind of position and an employee in the IT-related industry definitely should have their IT-related qualifications. That is like one of the prerequisites. Yeah. So apart from that, does this industry generally handpick potential employees? Is that how it generally works in building this so-called nucleus of a strong team?
From outside you're talking about?
Yes, externally.
Yeah, we externally pick good people. When they're good people, we pick them up.
So through that way, you can definitely have a more stronger, reliable team.
Headhunting we do. But also, if you're a team, we can motivate them, get them qualifications and train them, because it's not only IT. Sometimes the business requirement, business also they'll have to know. Getting a complete outsider, it will take a little bit of time to learn the business and start on working, especially on the programming side. So, yes,
unlike other jobs.
Unlike other jobs.
So, prior to concluding this discussion, is there a message out to women where you would invite them to be a part of the tech industry? Because it's pretty scary, the statistics, as we discussed earlier.
Yes, we have to have a plan for that. Definitely. I'm telling all the girls out there, right? Don't be afraid. I have done it. I have proved it. I have raised 2 sons and 5 grandkids, and still I'm working. I've studied till the end. So you can do it if you are organized and methodical. Only thing, you need little bit of support from your family. That's a must.
Undeniable.
Yes. But if you are very strong-minded, and yes, there's no ceiling.
Methodical too.
You have to be methodical. You have to plan ahead and do things, and no glass ceiling there.
Because this is a serious job.
Yes.
It requires a serious commitment.
Exactly.
Right. Beautiful conversation coming to an end, of course. The majority of IT leaders still plan to train their existing staff to close gaps, although more work must be done to understand capabilities, take inventory of skills and upskill or reskill as appropriate measures. The impacts of skills gaps can lead to losses in revenue or business to competitors, increased security risks, and far more. All of these consequences have a price tag, some greater than others. Moving the needle is difficult and even can be sometimes considered as an aggressive campaign to recruit, hire, retain, and promote women. But large technology companies are making a slow but a steady progress in working around a mechanism to increase the female workforce in suitable IT positions. Thank you so much for connecting with 11th Hour today, Ms. Upamalika Ratnayake, the CD of the Lanka Live. Thank you very much for making a visit to 11th Hour, to Radio Sri Lanka, of course, to SLBC.
You're welcome.
And I'm Sabrina Zawai signing off from 11th Hour.
11th Hour on Radio Sri Lanka illustrates the rediscovery of the glitz and the glam of the nation's most prominent entertainers and eminent personalities from the corporate sector. Join us every Monday at 11 exclusively on Radio Sri Lanka.